This has made me more excited for Diablo 4 than any previous quarterly update.
Okay, so guys, it's that time of the every 3 months. The Diablo 4 Quarterly update is out, and today we're going to look through it, and we're going to see what we have to look forward to in the new game, Diablo 4. We actually got a response for one of the biggest questions that I've had with Diablo 4. Is that Diablo 4, they've made it very clear that they're going to be selling things for USD, right? So, like, there's going to be a cash shop, and you will be able to spend real money in that cash shop to gain items that are cosmetic. And they are cosmetic only. Blizzard has re-emphasized that over and over and over. However, of course, it's always important to keep your guard up, because Blizzard has also said that you couldn't buy gear in Diablo Immortal, but you don't get power from gear, you get it from gems. So this could be a roundabout way, and we could be getting finessed, but it does not seem that way so far. And so while I approach this with positive trepidation, I am still a little bit reserved and completely being hyped up about the game with no reservation. So anyway, the main concern that I had with Diablo 4 was what happens whenever somebody buys a costume, right? This is what happened in Black Desert, is that you could buy a costume and then sell the costume, and then you could basically buy the costume for real money and then sell it for gold. So it's effectively pay to win, just with the extra step in the middle. So I wanted to ask the question, and I asked this many times. Hey guys, big question I see not answered here. Will any of the items on the shop be purchasable with premium currency, be tradable in any capacity between other players? Not between your characters, but other players, so you can effectively sell them. This has been a question I've had ever since they started preemptively talking about how the game was not going to be pay to win. I asked this question because I saw it not stated in the quarterly report, and I was concerned. Adam Fletcher, who is the global community lead for Diablo, this guy's, I like this guy. He's a stand-up guy. He talks to the community a lot, plays games, tweets about it. That's what I like to see, right? A guy that works at a gaming company that tweets about playing games. Awesome. So he goes and he says this: you cannot trade anything purchased with premium currency in Diablo 4 with other players. This includes items unlocked in the Season Pass. The fact is, that is exactly what we wanted to hear. That is actually just good. That's actually just good. There's no, but what about? That is an all-encompassing answer, and I'm happy to see it. He said trade, not sell. I think that, yes, I have a feeling that, like, all selling is trading and all trading is selling. Or sorry, what do you call it? Yeah. All selling is trading, but all trading is not selling. I don't know if that's really would make sense. I'd have to say, I don't think that's what he's trying to do. If it was, if they actually try to finesse us like that, I will be impressed. That will be a new low. Oh, well, you know, we said trade. We didn't mean, oh, you could sell them, but you just can't trade them. You can sell them on the auction house. Okay, yeah. I don't think that's what they mean, and I have a feeling that, like, anybody reading that's not what they would think. That's not what they mean, but we'll see what happens. I mean, again, that level of concern, I think, is warranted after the, in my opinion, misdirection with Diablo Immortal. I think that you're not unreasonable in thinking that it's some sort of a, some, like, nuanced fucking legal answer. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. Guy replying to his dumb... This guy? How's that a W? People who pay will be overpowered. I assume free-to-play won't be able to get their hands on pay-to-win gear by grinding within a reasonable time. Well, I mean, this guy got 5 replies. I mean, there are people that... And this is just what happens, right? Is you have people that are dumb. And they're on the internet. And they're out there in the wild. You know, like, that's just, it's like Pokemon. You go out in the tall grass, sometimes you fucking find a Pidgey, sometimes it's a Zubat. Depends on where you are. And if you're on Twitter, you're gonna have people that are fucking dumb. It's the same as this. Out there typing shit, exactly right. You can't be free to play. The game isn't free. No, the game is it's a box cost. And so we're going to talk about the monetization options and what really this quarterly update has to offer. I will say, however, I think that I think that Adam coming out and saying this in a almost unequivocal way, very, very clever, that trading and selling is not the exact same thing. Maybe I've got Bill Clinton watching my stream, okay? Like, that sounds like something he would say. I will still consider this a big W, okay? It depends on what the definition of is, right? Yes, of course. Hello, welcome to our third Diablo quarterly update. We hope you enjoyed last quarter. Launch of our final class of Necromancer. Talking about some of what's come with the game. Our associate game director is here, Joseph Pepora, and our director of product, Keegan, here to talk details. I'm going to scroll down a lot of this stuff, and we're going to go through kind of a lot of the main points. Many of you enjoy seasons in Diablo 2 Resurrected and Diablo 3 have asked for more extensive season support. I think so. I think that seasons are very, very good. I think that you should have like 2 different ways of playing the game. You should have, like, really what I want them to do is just copy copy Path of Exile that copied Diablo 2. That's all. So just copy the guys that copied you, and you're going to be okay. Just do exactly what they do. It's that simple. And so let's see here. We agree one of the most fun ways to play Diablo is through seasons. I think seasons are a good thing as well. I think seasons are great for Path of Exile. I think they're great for most things. So we're making the first one available soon after launch after building a dedicated team to bring you up to 4 seasons a year. I don't know about the first one being available soon after launch. I don't really know how that's going to turn out. It's like, you know, 2 weeks after launch, you have to like restart your character again in the season. Like, that would be kind of weird. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. I would like if the season just kind of began whenever the game came out, right? I think that would make the most sense. But, you know, we'll have to see what actually happens. First 3 months of no season? Yeah. Like, the first 3 months are just like playing the game and then the season comes out. I don't know. There's a number of ways that they could do it differently. It's not really that big of a deal. Effectively, the first 3 months of the game, the season could just be the game, right? Effectively. And then after the normal period of the season existing ends, then the first season begins, but it's really, for all intents and purposes, the second season. So anyway, let's go back over here. Building a dedicated team to bring you 4 seasons a year. Okay, so it's going to be 3 months per season, each with the major new features, quest lines, enemies, legendary items, and more. That's great. I mean, again, the fact is that they have to compete with Path of Exile. Path of Exile brings out seasons regularly, and if they're not doing that, people are going to go back and play Path of Exile. That's just what makes sense. That's certainly what I would do. And I think that you can play both games. I think that it would just be better for the players if these seasons, you know, they didn't try to, like, I really hope Blizzard doesn't do like this shit where like they try to release it at the same time as a PoE season. Like, please don't fucking do that. Like listen, we like playing Diablo. We love Diablo. Like, if Diablo 4 is good, we're gonna play Diablo 4. Please don't try to fucking make us choose between which game. Like, they're gonna do it. I really hope they don't do that. I think it's bad for Diablo. It's bad for PoE. It's bad for their audience. Like, fundamentally, it's bad for their audience. I hope they don't do that, but we'll see what happens. Diablo 4 seasons are modeled after those in Diablo 3. That's not really a great thing since Diablo 3 has been on life support for a long time. But at the very beginning, Diablo 3 seasons were much more dynamic, I would say. When a new season begins, all the characters from prior season are moved to the Eternal Realm, where you can keep playing, level up, and collecting loot. Okay, so you have like basically the standard server and a seasonal server. To play in a new season, you'll create a fresh character and experience new seasonal features while you play and alongside other players. This, along with capping Paragon points in Diablo 4, that is very good. I think that capping Paragon points is a good idea. There's somebody who is Paragon 2000, and his name is a series of zeros and ones. Let's just say that. You know it, I know it. No, not 2K, 20K. There's somebody with a Paragon level of 20K. It's ridiculous. It was on the Chinese server. Capping Paragon points in Diablo 4 ensures that your effort and skill, measured both by dexterity and theory crafting, determine how powerful your character becomes. It also allows players who missed the last season to participate. This season design requires all sources of character power in Diablo come from playing the game, so you will not be able to pay for power in Diablo 4. And everything that they have said has emphasized this point. This is an all-encompassing statement. You will not be able to pay for power in Diablo 4. Now, it's very easy for us to say that they're lying. I think so. You can easily say that. However, this is a very general statement that if you are able to pay for power later on, they're going to look pretty bad about that. You can read about our monetization philosophy below, along with the details on cosmetic shops, etc. Okay, yeah, all that makes sense for sure. Let's see here. And seasons, let's see here. Diablo's a game about choice and possibility. Find it's best when you have a clean slate. Yeah, I think so too. People get excited, new builds, etc. So yes, obviously seasons do work very well. Also, seasons being short does make it to where the meta doesn't become so defined that buying gear for that type of character is just like astronomically more expensive because that character has a marginally higher ceiling than another spec. So in general, I think seasons are a good idea, just in general. New content. Find it important that the players see the game as changing in meaningful ways. Absolutely. I think that, like, if you look at, especially, like, think about Path of Exile. What are the seasons that are super fucking popular? Well, it's the seasons that come out with an expansion. I remember it was like Ritual League and Metamorphosis League. I think that Ritual is whenever Maven came out, right? And then Metamorphosis is whenever Cirrus and the Conquerors came out. So, like, that's whenever a lot of people come back. And the more content that you add in to the new season is going to be whenever a lot of people are going to come back and play the game. And so the more of that you can do, the better. The last season was big too. Yeah. I that was the one with like the Searing Exarch and stuff. I didn't play that a lot. That was during Lost Ark, so I kind of missed out on it. This tomorrow is going to be the first time I really do it. Let's see here. This is something players should begin to experience before the end of the first hour of play. Exactly. That's one of the most important things, is that even on like the beginning of Path of Exile, whenever you are on the beach, you are immediately interfacing with the League mechanic. I think that is a good thing, because that way you are teaching it to players in like a very, very small way, and like they will learn it as they play through the game. Because yes, you're right, most hardcore players will primarily ignore the League mechanic unless it will give them a high chance of getting a tabula or something like that. But the majority of players, I think, will do the League mechanic. I think average players will do it. So because of that, I think that doing, having it change and be dynamic for average players is a very good thing. Yeah, it sounds very nice. Exactly. I think this is good, man. Everything about this is good. Each season's new questline will reveal more about the world of Sanctuary and your character's place in it. Here we get an opportunity to introduce new characters, revisit old ones while exploring the lore and content of the season. Refreshing the meta. Now, this is one of the most important things, and you see Path of Exile does this regularly. Every game does this regularly, and it's important to do it. You don't want to have things be perfectly balanced. You want to have things have a balanced cycle. You want to have it to where like things are different things are getting buffed, different things are getting nerfed, and the board and like the pieces on that board are always changing. Because that's what makes the game dynamic and unique. That's what makes it different. You know, why do I want to play this season whenever I already played last season? Well, it's because the meta is refreshed. I think that's what causes a lot of people to come back. So yes, this is obviously like all the glyphs, is your talent points to some degree. Let me go back down here. Diablo IV is a vast game. We want to ensure that we're keeping existing content and features in a place where they remain fun and challenging to participate in. To that end, we'll always be evaluating the state of the game regularly to revitalize older stomping grounds. That is also very important. You saw this with Path of Exile too. Remember whenever Alva, you didn't have the opportunity to turn your temple into a map that could go into your inventory. You used to have to do the temple every single time that you encountered a certain amount of incursions. Well, now you don't have to do that anymore. So I think that, making things more, what's the word for it? Modernizing different systems. I remember Metamorphosis League, at the very beginning, you had to pick up the individual samples, and then they changed it, and it was just an improvement that made the entire game better. And I think that also, just in general, looking at and then reevaluating old systems and making them better over time, I think makes the game more dynamic and better. Yeah, PoE holds quality of life hostage. One thing that I noticed, so like you can say that, but like I really like the fact that whenever the Lake of Kalandra announcement came out, that they actually announced it with what I would have presumed to be QOL features 3 weeks after release, like being able to save the maps and stuff like that. And I think it's very clear that the development of this new of the new league in PoE, I know we're talking about Diablo 4, but these are like, these are the two main games. It was developed like with the I was gonna say foresight, but really it was just hindsight of already making these same mistakes in previous leagues. So I actually think that the way that like Lake of Calandra is being designed and how they're preemptively adding quality of life features makes me much more excited for the game, and I'm really glad to see Diablo 4 taking a page out of that book. I think that's a very good thing. One clear example here is looking at the relative balance between classes, builds, and powers. Obviously, we don't want to create situations where in which imprecise tuning squashes creativity. This is something that happens, and I'm going to use a parallel to this with Elden Ring. So in Elden Ring, whenever the game came out, what were the two main weapons that everybody used? Everybody used the Moonveil Katana, and they also used Rivers of Blood. So if I did a tournament for Elden Ring, would it be good for me to allow all weapons, or would it be good for me to disallow the top 5 overperforming weapons to have a more diverse game in general? And you're going to have some people that want to say, like, I want to go as hard as I can. If this is the best weapon, I want to be able to use it. But I think that the better game is nerfing those fucking weapons, and they did do that. But a better game and a better experience is always something that makes it more dynamic. Because this does squash creativity. And the reason why I think them saying this is very good is because it's insightful into emergent player behavior. And the reality is that if one build is the best build, everybody is going to play that build. And then what happens is that all the prices for the resources for that build are sky high. Everybody is fighting over the same 10 or 20 items, and people are fucking mad, and the game is boring because you can't play a way that you think is fun. You have to play the way that you think is really cool. So I think that it's very important to make sure that things are balanced, and how improper balance actually does kill creativity because it is just so much more beneficial to play a certain way. You can look at this with Classic WoW, for example. Think about how many people would want to play a hunter or a druid or a ret paladin or something like that, and they just really can't do that because the class doesn't have a role in the raid, because hunters and warriors just outperform them 2 or 3 to 1. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's 2 to 3 to 1. It's not even remotely close. Now, obviously, in BC, this changes, but it's a different meta. But in Classic WoW, it was much more pronounced. And you always want to make sure that that's what I'm saying is like metas where like you have like these super good classes actually kill creativity, and they kill build like build design, because everybody just wants to play the thing that's overpowered. So them releasing the game, and even before alpha comes out, thinking about this again, this is forward thinking that has been what's the word for it? It's been informed by previous, let's be honest, mistakes. And these are mistakes again. This is a mistake Elden Ring made. It's a mistake that WoW has made many, many times. It's a mistake that Diablo 3 made. It's a mistake that I remember Demon Hunter on release of Diablo 3. I remember I leveled a warrior, a barbarian, up to level 60. I fought the first pack of fucking Inferno mobs. I realized I just wasted 3 days of my fucking time. I rolled a Demon Hunter that day. I said, fuck that. Demon Hunters are just better. That's just what happens. And so, yeah, like, why would anyone want to do that? So balance is super important, because bad balance actually makes the game much more boring. Let's see here. Constantly adding new legendary and unique items, paragon boards, glyphs, etc. Yes, this is all good. Improving the game. Imagine that. With each season, we'll be looking at different ways to simply improve the player experience. As a live project, we intend to hold Diablo 4 to an exceedingly high standard. We are here to build a live game that we can be proud of, and the best way to do that is by engaging our players directly. So I want to talk about a little bit of Diablo and Path of Exile in an abstract, and compare them to 2 games that I grew up playing. Actually, one of them that I grew up playing, another one I was not allowed to because it would make me a Satanist, according to my mom. Gauntlet and Diablo 2. Gauntlet Legends came out in, I think, 2001, 2000, maybe it was like 1999, somewhere around there. Gauntlet Dark Legacy came out similar time to that. Gauntlet Dark Legacy and Gauntlet Legends came out at about the exact same time as Diablo 2 came out. Somewhere around there. Maybe Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction. Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, Diablo 2, was an S-tier, incredible, amazing fucking game for its time. I can look back on it, I can see how good it was, because I remember playing games back then. It was head and shoulders above every other game. However, Gauntlet was also one of the best fucking games. It was so fucking fun, it was amazing. And the fact is that nowadays, Path of Exile is Diablo in terms of customization and complexity, and Diablo is Gauntlet. It's kind of weird how things have switched around, but I think that's what's happened. I don't think that being a more simplistic, basic game makes the game fundamentally worse. Now, I do prefer a lot of the complexities in PoE, and I enjoy them a lot. But I think there's a lot of people, especially who don't play video games for a living, who might enjoy what Diablo 4 has to offer with being much more simple. And I think the best comparison between those two games, again, is Gauntlet versus Diablo 2. They are both S-tier amazing fucking games, but Gauntlet is clearly much more simple, but that doesn't mean that it's a worse game. A lot of us have been looking forward to a new Gauntlet game ever since the PS2 one. Like, what the fuck happened? I don't know. I think that basically, we don't... Wait, yeah, where's the new fucking Gauntlet game? Come on. Anyway, so, let's see here. No one wants to manage a game. Yeah, a lot of people. Well, no, I think that Path of Exile, like as I said, there are guys that do build guides for PoE, and it is a 30-minute video, and there is no gameplay. There is just path of building. There are just spreadsheets. There are just numbers, and all the comments are like, "Wow, this was so informative. Thank you so much. I can't wait to play this, bro. This is gonna be so fun, man. This is gonna be awesome." Right? And like, this is what they do. They love it, right? But the fact is that there's a lot of other people that just say, "Oh wow, so this one's like, it's like fire, and like, so fucking you just spin around and everybody blows up with fire? Well, that's cool. Holy shit." You know, and they don't want to hear about like, oh, why you need elemental equilibrium on your weapon because you're doing a spell hit, and then, you know, your actual attacks are fire conversion damage, and you're using Nangamongu's flame to, you know, proc the molten, like, they don't want to hear about this shit. They just want to spin around and be on fire. That's all. And how do I know that? Because that's a build I played. And I even bought the microtransaction stuff in PoE to look even cooler. Anyway, point is that there is a place for a game that is more simplistic, that has more of a Gauntlet feel rather than a Path of Exile feel. And I think that Diablo 4 is moving in that direction. And I think that's a very, very large genre. And you could even say that it's larger than Path of Exile genre that they have. So I think that's it. Listen, you know, it's the fucking two-handed axe. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Let's see here. So yes, I think it's absolutely possible. It's absolutely a good thing. And so I want to make sure that I preface everything by saying that, is that things being simplistic does not mean that they're bad. Things being complex does not mean that they're good. With each season, we're looking for ways to improve player experience, a lot of product, right? Held to a high standard. Yeah. Based on feedback that we received, the team will identify quality of life features and polished work that can be done to improve the overall experience, and invite the community to vote upon their priority. Vote upon their priority. That's very interesting. We'll see what happens. Well, we can always flip a switch to tackle something immediately. You can rest assured that we'll be active in improving the quality of the game experience for years to come. I think everybody understands that. Like, you don't have to fix all, like, for example, people for so many years were like, Blizzard, please make the bag space bigger. Blizzard's like, we can't, it's going to delete the game. And people are like, okay, that's dumb, but okay. Right? It's just people want communication, and they want to be able to be heard. That's all there is to it. And I think that, like, for a lot of things, that's the case. Like, you know, things that, like, if Ian says, like, oh, we can't do this in WoW because it's just impossible to do for whatever reason, based off of our server tech or our, you know, like, our coding, like, it's disappointing to hear, but it is a reasonable problem that games sometimes have. It's a good example of this, too, that we're running into right now is Final Fantasy. The truth is that World of Warcraft's, its collection system, its transmog system, is infinitely better than Final Fantasy's, and it's not even remotely close. The only exception there is being able to dye your gear. You can dye your gear in Final Fantasy. In World of Warcraft, you have to farm 100 hours for the recolor. So I do think that Final Fantasy does have the W there. However, overall, the system for WoW is vastly superior. Yoshi P has said, we want to be able to do this, we just can't do it yet. And everybody that plays the game is like, it sucks, I hope it comes soon. Like, don't treat the player base like they are mouth-breathing babies that can't understand anything. Just be honest with people, and they will appreciate it. That's what I would say. Let's go to the next one. Live events. I'm making it a little bit better. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Sanctuary is a living world filled with people, creatures, and factions striving to meet their own ends. Attentive players should be on the lookout for new live events that will crop up each season. An example of a live event would be a warning of an impending invasion of the drowned, which may last a weekend, or the arrival of a strange peddler amidst the crags and the dry steppes. These events provide gateways to new adventures and unique rewards. So basically, world events in Diablo. I think this is great. I think this is a good thing. Almost every game has this, whether it's like little world events or things like that, world bosses. This is just a dub, and like that's all there is to it. It's good. Let's see here. Season Journey. Alongside most of our major season releases, we see the return of the Season Journey. Players are pushed to explore Sanctuary anew, earning limited time rewards with each chapter of the Season Journey that's completed. Completing the Season Journey is quite a feat, with the final step demanding the character overcome an extremely difficult encounter with this especially deadly foe. Yeah, like, what was it in PoE? Was it 100 Uber Lab clears? For one of, like, that fucking capstone bro, oh my god. Yeah, fuck that. Like, I did like 7 or like 10, and I'm like, nah, that's not gonna happen. It was too fucking much. It's kind of fun in Diablo 3. Yeah, I don't think season journeys are bad. I just hope that they're not based off of repetition. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just not based off of repetition. Like, for example, if the season journey, the capstone of the season journey, is defeat, like, Uber Searing Exarch or Uber Cirrus, that's awesome. If it's defeat Uber Cirrus 100 times, I don't think that's as cool. Maybe 5 times, maybe 10 times or something like that. That way you can just avoid people getting carried to it. But other than that, no, I don't want to do it 100 times. Yeah, 5 or 10. You know, it's harder to buy 5 carries than it is to buy 10. But I hate lab. It's boring as fuck. They have made it better, though, haven't they? I think that the lab has been tremendously improved ever since, I don't know, what was it, 2014, 2015, whenever it came out? So, yeah. Let's see here. Future season journeys, we're regularly adding pinnacle level difficulty challenges for players to complete. That's a very good thing. I think having, like, that's one of the reasons why I think PoE has such longevity and why it's been so popular for so long, is that it's been one of those games that, like, you have these, like, capstone accomplishments. Shaper, Elder, Cirrus, Conquerors, Uber Exarch now, or just Searing Exarch now. I forgot. Like, I haven't done it. I'm just, like, talking about it. And second, like a second perspective. Maven, right? And whenever you beat one of these bosses, Cortex, whenever you beat one of these bosses, you beat them on an objective level. You didn't beat the easy mode. You didn't beat the hard mode. You beat the boss. And that feels really fucking good. And I think that having that in Diablo 4 is really important. So I hope that these end game bosses exist as an ultimate form, not some kind of scaling challenge that you beat him in the campaign and then you fight him later on and the abilities do like 1,000,000 times more damage. Like, fuck that. Like, I want exclusive bosses at the end of the game that very, very high-end players can fight against. PoE does it, and they've got a much smaller team than Diablo 4. I don't want to hear any fucking excuses about how, oh, well, not a lot of people are going to see it. No, you have to have at least some of those. Lost Ark has that. PoE has that. You need to have those rewards for content. Like, the content itself becomes a reward by being able to fight this boss. And being able to kill that boss on an objective, ultimate level is fucking badass. That's cool. Inferno, yeah, not Inferno 10,000 Asmodan. Yes, please. Let's see here. Diablo 3 Seasonal Journey. The Season Journey is free for all players. Okay, so this is, again, we're going to be getting into the monetization, which is the most contentious part of this. Like Diablo 3, the Season Journey is free for all players. Completing Season Journey objectives also grants progress towards the Season Pass, a new feature with a Battle Pass-style progression that advances alongside the Season Journey, enabling players to earn more rewards just by playing. The Season Pass has both free rewards, cosmetics, premium currency, and gameplay boosts, and paid rewards, cosmetics, and premium currency only. So it's very important to keep in mind here that the gameplay boosts, and I skimmed through this, you are going to be able to boost another character if you complete your Season Pass. The gameplay boost is available at a base level that is for free. So if you disagree with the boost, totally fine. However, you can't say the boost is pay to win because the boost is included in the base game that you don't have to pay any money for. You see what I'm saying? gameplay boost? Why can't they just do a normal sub fee? Because a normal sub fee is not realistic for most people. Most people can't pay a normal sub fee. I understand that a lot of people out there think that it would be great if games were just, you know, because like video games have gone up in cost. Like, you know, like we've got Brandon up in the White House now, and inflation is 200% a day. So guess what? Everything's getting more expensive, but people won't pay more than $60 for a video game. So what are these game developers supposed to do? Do they just make progressively worse games because they're getting a, you know, comparatively smaller budget, even if they're receiving the same amount of money? Do they have to add in something else? Video game players will not pay $90 or $100 for a video game. And if you go and you say, oh, well, I would, yeah, that's fucking great. But the fact is that most people don't have $100 to drop on a fucking video game. People don't have another $15 to drop on another video game. It's just such a massive barrier to entry that so many people will just never do it if that's the case. That's just the truth, man. It's just the fucking truth. And I think that there are some people, I'm going to be honest, I think there's a little bit of privilege and entitlement with it, thinking that like, oh, I wish games were $100 now and there were no microtransactions. I do, because the fact is, like, I've been poor as a motherfucker, man. Like, I've had $20 in my bank account, and I remember I donated 15 of it to Grinding Gear Games so I could play Path of Exile in the closed beta. I think you guys, there were some reasons why I only had $20 to begin with. Maybe not necessarily the best decisions with my money. However, I do have a really cool badge next to my name now, and that's nice, isn't it? And so anyway, I could never, let's say, how many of you guys are like, you know, you guys, how many of you guys are balling on a budget right now? How many of you guys are getting by, doing whatever you can, but that's about all you can do? And how many of you guys can get $40 or $60 or $20 together regularly, but you're never going to hit the triple digits? How many of you guys, like, it's so hard to save up that much money because there's always something that happens. Something comes up. You need to, you know, you've got the fucking car, you need an oil change. You get pulled over, speeding ticket, something like that happens. And so you can never build up that much money. It's what happens, man. That's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of you guys. So I think that it's realistic. And I think that we are, if you want the game to be a live service, you should expect that there is going to be some level of microtransactions with that live service. That's just what it is. If you don't like that, that's fine. But because gamers won't pay a lot more money for video games, it's just not going to change. That's all there is to it. And so that's all there is to it. I don't want a live service? Well, then don't buy the game. That's all there is to it. And people are bad with money. Yes, a lot of people are bad with money, and once they get a lot of money, they spend it, and they will probably spend that amount of money before that amount of money reaches $100. So that's why you're seeing these microtransactions and this kind of stuff happening. I think a season pass and stuff like this is totally okay, especially if it's just cosmetic stuff. It doesn't really matter. It gives people something to work towards. I know that, like in Lost Ark, for example, like I was noticeably more engaged in the game before my character hit level 60, because I was always hoping to get to level 60, and like once I hit that cap, well, I didn't have to worry about it as much, right? And so I would maybe play the game a little bit less. So it's a very delicate balance between making people, you know, play the game every single day because of FOMO, and then also giving people something that they can work towards over time. And I think seasonal passes with challenges like this do, you know, generally get into that middle. And so let's see here. Like Diablo 3, Season Journey is free for all players. Competing Season Journey objective also grants progress towards Season Pass, a new feature with the Battle Pass style progression. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. I already read that. Excuse me. Season Pass. Here we go. Director of Product Keegan Clark here to talk about our approach to live service monetization in Diablo 4. As we've discussed previously, Diablo 4 will be a full-price game with a cosmetic shop and season pass, none of which will provide any pay-for-power options. Our goal in designing the in-game purchases is that we want to create beautiful things which add value to our players' experience of the game. That's obviously what the goal is. You want to be able to make money. We get it. We understand. Everybody wants money. Okay? Like, I get it. Scale of Diablo 4 seasons is much more ambitious than what we've done in the past in Diablo 3. Well, I would fucking hope so. I mean, like, goddamn. This is good. It's good to hear this, though. Absolutely. With a large development team dedicated to seasons after launch, Diablo 4 will be supported by an army of developers for years to come. Yes, I'll keep that in mind whenever a small change doesn't happen for half a year. But we'll see what happens. With all the exciting plans we have for seasons, we want them to be enjoyed by everyone, regardless of whether they buy anything from the shop. Okay, that's good. I'm excited to finally share the opportunity with the community more about our live service model. Seasons will add an all-new graphics, gameplay, quests, challenges, meta changes, and quality of life improvements. This season pass recognizes players' devotion with greater rewards unlocking as you play more throughout the season. There will be a single track of rewards with the free tiers that are unlocked just by playing the game. The premium tiers, so there's going to be multiple tiers. This is clearly the premium tiers, plural. So you're probably going to have, you know, probably two tiers. That's what Diablo Immortal had. That's also what the payment options of Dragonflight are. So I'm going to assume that we're going to have probably 3 battle passes. You're going to have the base battle pass, the premium battle pass, and the super premium battle pass, effectively. Why does every game need these shitty burnout passes nowadays? Why do you think? It's because it works. It's because people play them. That's why. Yeah, I mean, it's literally that simple. Like, if the battle passes didn't work, they wouldn't do them. I mean, you realize, like, WoW effectively has a battle pass, too. It's just not stated in a list. Like, your battle pass is like getting Gladiator, getting fucking, your mount from Keystone Master. Like, most games function this way to some degree or another. That's what it is. Man, I hate battle passes. Why do people hate battle passes categorically? Yeah, I'm not sure why battle passes are bad. Are bad in themselves. People say it's FOMO. So what game doesn't have FOMO? Yeah, like almost every game has some degree of FOMO. And like, yeah, guys. You cannot use a single-player game as an argument. Yes, I don't think that a single-player game needs a battle pass, all right? So if they release the new Legend of Zelda and there's a battle pass, or the new Elden Ring DLC and it comes with a battle pass, I'm going to think to myself, do we really need this? Sure, yes, but this is not something that's uncommon at all. Yeah. As there's FOMO with event mounts, yeah, there's events in Final Fantasy that have FOMO. Like, games have FOMO. Like, every limited option in the game is not explicitly FOMO. Like, I think that this is what happened with, like, borrowed power and WoW, is that, like, as soon as people started using the term borrowed power, anything that could be defined as borrowed power was borrowed power, and because borrowed power was bad, it was bad too. I think that there are a lot of examples of FOMO that are good things. Like, for example, like end-of-season Gladiator mounts, being able to get, like, a Capstone Keystone Master mount, being able to get, like, a title for completing something, getting a mount from an event or something like that. I don't think that's a big deal. Yeah, I don't think that's bad at all. It's like in WoW, like you would want to log on, oh, it's Brewfest, I'm going to try to get the Kodo, or oh, it's Halloween, I want to try to get the fucking horse. I don't think this is a bad thing. Yeah, like, WoW's had FOMO ever since vanilla. Yeah, like, it's always been like this. Yeah, it's weird. It's not bad, but time-gated currencies, etc. is bad. Well, I mean, again, I think that everything that you can say is bad is clearly not bad. Like, for example, every single video game has time-gated currencies that is a multiplayer game. Like, whether it's Tower of Fantasy, Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, or New World, it is time-gated in one form or another. And I don't think that's always a bad thing. It depends on how much the time gate is and how much it's trying to restrict your gameplay. That's all it is. So I don't want to talk about things in an abstract and say all instances of battle passes are bad. I think that's unreasonable. I would say this is definitely unreasonable. However, I will say that there are battle passes that can be bad, and FOMO is not always a good thing, and a game cannot live on FOMO alone. Yeah, it's all about execution, exactly. And once you have missed too much content, you can't catch up to prevent a new player from joining, so not bad small quantities. Well, that's not the case here, because it's a seasonal game. Like, I don't feel like I'm behind somebody else. Like, for example, in Path of Exile. In Path of Exile, there are tons of FOMO things that I don't have. Like, if you go on the like, remember, like, in the Path of Exile forums where, like, these people have, like, It's like a fucking guy that's been in the military for 50 years and they have all these medals all over their fucking jacket. And it's like the Path of Exile. They have all their badges showing of how long they played the game, and it's been since 2014. Like, every single one of those is FOMO, but I don't feel like I needed to have those because I just wasn't playing the game at that point. And I think that at a certain point also, like, if people are so emotionally detached from reality that they have to get every single little, fucking thing in a game, then to a certain extent that's their own fucking fault. Like, that's the way I am with WoW. I collect a bunch of dumbass shit, and it's stupid. It's stupid. I think Blizzard can make it a little bit better in certain ways, but overall I don't think they should design the whole game around it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like some people, like, it's a merit badge. Yeah, I only collect things I enjoy. Yeah, sometimes it's not the game's fault. The people are fucking neurotic. Anyway, we'll see what happens. This is all, I want to say all of this is all predicated on the assumption that the Battle Pass will not be absolutely fucking stupid. We'll have to see what it is. Seasons will add new gameplay, quest challenges, meta challenges, quality of life improvements. Season Pass recognizes players' dedication with greater rewards unlocking as you progress through the season. There will be a single track of rewards for free tiers that's unlocked just by playing the game and leveling. Premium tiers, which provide no in-game power or advantage over other players. The free tiers of the pass will provide gameplay boosts to all players, things which make the journey of leveling up a fresh seasonal character faster and more streamlined. In contrast, the premium tier rewards are focused on aesthetics, providing a huge value in the form of cosmetics and premium currency. Many of the rewards embody the seasonal theme, helping players show off their participation in the season. This is something that Path of Exile has as well. Talk what players can expect. Season Pass has free tiers and premium tiers. Though the Battle Pass players can, let's see here. Okay, so you just get more premium rewards. We get that. Okay. Season Pass awards cosmetics, okay? Like the shop, these don't affect gameplay, all right? Season Pass awards premium currency. And you can apparently only spend premium currency on cosmetics. This was stated, and this has been reiterated multiple times. It's not like you can spend premium currency on gems or something like that. This is what they've said. The Season Pass awards free season boosts. Boosts accelerate the player's progress for the duration of the season. For example, a season boost might accelerate the experience earned to make leveling multiple characters within a season faster, because they might affect gameplay. Season boosts are free rewards for all players. We want to be clear that players can't unlock season boosts more quickly through purchases. There is no way to unlock more boosts, so you just get the boost on its own. This is good. I think this is good too. Why do we need boosts? Well, because, like, let's say the leveling process is like 10 hours. Well, if you already leveled with a demon hunter, but you want to try out a barbarian, but you don't want to spend 10 hours leveling up your character again, you just get the boost and it takes you only 2 or 1 hour. I think that's fine. Yeah, it just makes the game better. Like, it's not like there's no, like, why make somebody go through the same content they already did 2 times on a 3-month recurring cycle just to play a new character? Like, how is this good for the game? No, I don't think it is. Yeah, like, just make the game better without boosts? How? Whenever every single game has boosts. Because what your idea of better is... See, the problem with what you're saying is that, like, I agree with you to an extent, right? I do, and of course you should make the leveling process better so people don't want to just boost every single time. Sure. However, every single game has boosts. Like, that's what people want. People want to get to the end game. Now, you can be mad about that, but that doesn't mean that Blizzard shouldn't try to cater to what people want to see. The boost is free. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Hard to make the game better whenever you want to replay it over and over with different characters. Exactly, yeah. It's like you're making people have to do this. And like, have you ever thought about making the game better is giving them the boost in the first place? And making it to where, like, in general, this is what I said about WoW. It's weird that people are being negative about this whenever the fact is that I've said the exact same thing about WoW and people are very positive about it. So let me draw the comparison, okay? So basically, I've said that the reason why people level up alts is because they want to do Mythic Plus, Arena, or Raid. That's probably 95% of the people that want to do alts. So why put extra barriers in front of that? Why make this artificially harder? Why take it and make it take longer for somebody to reach their goal? This is a video game that people are playing for fun. Why does somebody have to go through an arbitrary time-wasting paradigm mechanism that lasts for 30 hours, 10 hours? There's no reason for that. So they pay for more months. That's not the way this game works. Yeah, that's, you know, it cares about journey to an endgame and an ARPG. Yeah, exactly. You know, sounds fun. Yeah, there you go. Adventure system was good instead of doing boring ass story, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's probably an improvement, but it's up to each individual person. And I think that most people level through Diablo 3, they want to get to level 70, and then that's it. Lost Ark is a pretty good alt boost system. Yeah, exactly. I don't think boosting is fundamentally bad. You can't spend money to expedite or affect the boost in any sort of a way. You get it completely for free. Players can purchase tiers, but they won't be getting... Players can purchase tiers, but they won't speed up getting season boosts. Oh, so you can purchase levels in the battle pass ahead of time, but the only levels that you can purchase are probably the levels that you can buy. All other tier rewards... Okay. So you probably can purchase levels inside of the paid battle passes, but not the base ones. Sure. Even Multiverses doesn't sell season pass tiers. Well, that's because the game just came out. Like, yeah, they'll probably do that later on. Do you really think that they're not going to do that in 5 years or 3 years or probably 1 year? It's 100% worth on Diablo. I'm here for the rush, not the journey. Yeah, that's what a lot of people like doing, of course. Season pass will be free. Yes, the season pass will be free. Season journey accelerates the season pass progression. While any playstyle can progress your season pass, min-maxers can focus on season journey objectives to advance more quickly. Okay, that's good. The shop. Okay, so this is the important thing. Season pass is 100% coming out in multiverses just for skins. Yeah, of course, because that's what people like. I don't understand. Like, there are a lot of people that just they can't come to terms with the fact that they are not the majority. It's obvious that people like this stuff because every single game has it. Like, just stop. Like, yeah, maybe one day it will change and people won't like it, but they're going to keep doing it. Is it because of the whales, though? In a way, yeah. Yeah, it is. Now people are just done with their money? I don't think so. I mean, the battle pass is free. We're talking about something that people are... There's no money involved here. Now, let's see here. The way we approached designing the shop in this cosmetics was about thinking about the experience we want players to have. We want buying things to feel good before, during, and after the purchase. So if players choose to buy something, it should be because they want to, not because they feel like they have to. It should also be clear to players exactly what they're getting before they choose to buy, with no unpleasant surprises. Yeah, sure, if you want to do that, then make it everything in USD rather than your fucking bullshit currency. There's no reason for this currency to exist with the shop items. There's all this does is obfuscate things. But, you know, like, I think that anything that you buy in a video game, you should have to buy it with USD. Like, there should be no premium currencies at all. You can only have USD and that's it. So let's see here. Yeah, casino chip effect. There you go. Shop's cosmetics build on a foundation of a huge variety of transmogs and armor players will find in game. Also important for us that the shop is grounded within Diablo's world, so our cosmetics are holistic fantasies rather than individual components that can be mixed and matched with transmogs and armor types. Yeah. So basically, whenever you buy a transmog in Diablo 4, like an entire transmog set, it's that set entirely. It's not like you can get like this Skeleton King helmet here and you can use it with the barbarian shoulders. You see what I'm saying? Like, you get one set and that's all you have. And I think that's actually a good thing, because that way people don't feel like they have to buy multiple ones to like min-max their transmog. I think that's a good thing. Let's talk more about what players can expect. The shop sells cosmetics for premium currencies. Cosmetics give players even more options to customize the visual appearance of their character. Nothing offered on the shop grants a direct or indirect gameplay advantage. This is going to be... That's a very big thing to say. So we'll have to see if that's true or not. So while many of these may look like powerful pieces of gear, they have no in-game stats. Okay, well, I think that's what everything works. The shop is optional. Players can experience all core and seasonal gameplay features without spending money. Our goal is for players to enjoy going to the shop, buy something whenever it catches their fancy, and then walk away happy with what they bought. And the shop is also transparent. Well, it's clearly not transparent because you're using a premium currency, and it's deliberate that it's not transparent because the premium currency is used to obfuscate how much money you're actually spending. However, this could be more transparent than other ones on the spectrum, but it is certainly not transparent objectively. Let's see here. It's very important that players know exactly what to expect whenever getting a purchase. Build preview functionality allows players to... Okay, so yeah, you can look at what you're going to buy. Okay, that makes sense. The best quality cosmetics are not exclusive to the shop. Diablo 4 will ship with hundreds of transmogs unlockable from drops in game, including dozens of armor sets of the highest visual quality. There are incredible pieces, unique and legendary items for players to find without ever going to the shop. The shop offers more diversity of choices, not systematically better choices. Well, with what they've done with WoW, that does not fill me with a lot of confidence, because usually whenever a new season, a new store mount comes out in WoW, it's completely unique. It has better design, it has a new mount special, and it's just 1,000 times better. And WoW actually has 2 points of monetization, not just one like Diablo does, because WoW also asks you to pay a sub as well. So we'll have to see what happens. Screen captures of legendary armors earned through the game left, and cosmetics in the shop on the right. So this stuff on the left is in-game stuff, and the stuff on the right is cosmetic. Why is he wearing a Chaos Orb? What the hell is he doing wearing a Chaos Orb for? What the fuck? Y'all see that shit? Y'all gonna pay shit? Yeah, that's funny. I think that's funny. I'm pretty sure the people at PoE probably think that's funny too. I don't think we need to go hard. It's funny to see. Anyway, I think this is fine. Like, yeah, sure. And this is a big concern. I'm glad that they are addressing this concern ahead of time. That, like, oh, well, all the cool items in the game are going to be on the store and all the shitty stuff is going to be in the game. That's obviously bad. And I'm glad they're saying that's not going to be the case. Shit on the right looks way better. I would say I like the aesthetic of this one a bit more, but I would probably wear this one, realistically. This one is... The Chaos Orb set is a lot cleaner, but this is clearly some, like, tattered undead thing, so, like, that's not really a good comparison. With this one... I feel like these are just two completely different things. Like, you can't compare, like, a bow made out of, antlers to some sort of, like... This looks like the bow that drops from Archimond in fucking Battle for Mount Hyjal. It's completely different. I think this is subjective enough. I would say that this is generally subjective. That if you presented these two pictures to people... you would have people making a decision based off of what they aesthetically prefer, rather than the set that is just a higher quality. As far as the waifus, it's not wrong game, man. Let's see here. Armor transmogs in the shop are usable on all characters of that class. Okay, yeah, of course, that makes sense. The important and guiding principle behind the shop and the season pass is to create things players love, look forward to, and appreciate being part of the game. Cosmetics in Diablo 4 create new ways for players to express themselves and never provide advantages in game. Players will experience all the fun of seasons, whether they spend anything or not. We intend to continue our dialogue with players about the shop and seasonal pass, and we'll always listen and seek out the community's feedback about it. Honestly, let me finish this. Closing thoughts. We want players to take comfort in knowing Diablo 4 will continue to evolve its offerings post-launch. The introduction of new seasons alongside live events, returning seasonal journey, working in tandem to breathe variety into the game. So, in general, this is the way that I feel about this. I think that this entire update is a massive W. I think that it is a tremendous W, especially with them going out of their way to clarify again that you cannot trade anything purchased with premium currency in Diablo 4 with other players. This includes items unlocked with the season pass. I think this is a huge fucking W, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think, because I don't see anything in this that sounds bad to me. Everything about this sounds good. Yeah, like, literally everything about this sounds good. Now, you can say they're lying. Okay, that's fine. But, like, we'll have to see if that's true or not. They said you couldn't buy gear in Diablo Immortal, bro. That was a lie. Exactly. Yes, you're absolutely right. However, they did make... We can agree on this, right? That they made much more all-encompassing statements than they did about Diablo Immortal. That you simply cannot buy advantages in the game, right? Like, you cannot buy advantages directly or indirectly. That is a tremendous thing to say. Now, they could lie. They could go back on it. They could say we didn't really mean that. They could say this isn't an advantage, but everybody knows that it is. All of these things could absolutely happen, and we will be ready for them if they do. Trust me, you'll get 3 videos about that and not just one about this. So yes, that's true. And let's see here. Concerned about Battle Pass providing experience and stuff whenever you can buy Battle Pass with levels in other games? No, they actually explicitly said that you cannot do that. They said you cannot spend money to expedite the Battle Pass in a way that will give you the boost or any sort of reward faster. They explicitly said that. Let me see if I can find where they said that so you can see it too. Players can purchase tiers, but they won't speed up getting seasonal boosts. Yeah, there you go. Fair and other games currently available? Well, we're not sure yet. I mean, like, we're basing it off of, you know, how they did Diablo Immortal, which is not good, how they did Diablo 3, which is not good, how they did Diablo 3 Resurrected, or Diablo 2 Resurrected seems pretty good. So we'll just have to wait and see. You said you can't purchase gear that you can trade. What about purchasing gear or gems that you can't trade? That's already stated. They said that you can't spend money to gain an advantage in the game. That is a broad statement. They literally said that. Now, they could be lying, and if they are lying, then I'm glad, because I'll have so much YouTube content about it. That'll be great. I can't wait. I hope they are lying. I mean, holy fuck, we're going to be eating good today if they're lying. However, that's not what they said. Getting more experience is not an advantage. Well, see, you didn't read. So apparently you have a listening problem. The Season Pass awards free season boosts. So you didn't listen. You didn't read the words on the page. You thought something, and then you just keep thinking what you're thinking, even though you literally read something that says the opposite. I mean, it's right there. It's on the screen. Again, they could be lying, but we will wait until that happens. And let's see here. You even write it in chat. Yeah, exactly. How many boosts, though? Well, I don't know. I think boosts are a good thing. I think being able to earn a boost in a seasonal game that lasts for 3 months is a good thing after you've already leveled your first character. If obtaining it costs you no money. Most people that play the game, they want to play the new game. They want to play the end game. They don't want to level through the fucking campaign for the 3rd time in a season. It's fucking annoying. Most people feel that way about PoE. They don't like having to re-level every time as well. I've said the same thing about WoW. It's like, I don't want to have to do my fucking Covenant campaign every time, or do the Zareth Mortis intro every single time that I want to bring a character into 9.2 content. I just want to be able to do it. It doesn't make the game better, just making me have to repeat the process over and over again. It just sucks. There's no advantage to it at all. It's annoying. Yeah, it's annoying. Nobody's playing the game so they can repeat that content over and over. It's just common sense. Yeah, they want to play Diablo 8 players, all trade and no cash. I think that they should have unlimited trade in the game. I think that they should, because that's what makes PoE, in my opinion, more interesting for me. Like, not having trade in the game makes it boring. What if I want every class in the game in the first week? Well, that's fine. Just do it. Yeah, just level it up. Like, I mean, then you know, get the boost, and if you can't get the boost, either wait for it or level it up on your own. I don't know. It seems fine to me. Blizzard does stupid shit every year? Well, yeah, but listen, I will be there for the L's, but we also have to be there for the W's. And everything that they're saying here is a W. Because if you're only there for the L's, you're not being objective. You're just not. You're being delusional. Somebody who presents every single thing that Blizzard does in the worst possible light, and they say everything that they're saying is bad, etc., that person is no more fucking delusional than the person who says, wow, it's still gonna be great. Man, I'm loving Diablo Immortal, guys. You know, I'm really able to compete with the whales, and you see them getting one shot. It's just, again, both of these positions are not based in reality. I will look at reality and I will make my decision. And my opinion, this seasonal announcement, this quarterly update, is great. This is a great update. They answered a lot of the questions and the concerns that people had, and I think that in general, we can assume that Diablo 4 will not be pay to win. Please clip that for whenever it is. No copium, hopefully. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, gather all evidence, chat. We'd be there. Yes, exactly.
Listen, Blizzard has earned the skepticism. They have absolutely 100% earned the skepticism, but everything that I'm reading is good. One thing I can guarantee is a battle pass free track will contain shite, while the good stuff will be in paid tiers. Well, it depends on what you consider good. So, like, for example, for, like, cosmetics, yeah, maybe the cosmetic in the free pass isn't as good. But all of the things that have a tangible impact on your gameplay, like the boosts or something like that, all of those are included in the free pass, and there's nothing that affects your gameplay that is included in the premium passes that you have to pay for. That's what they said. Concern is what they didn't state here, but what they did state is good. Well, what did they not state? I feel like they've said everything that they need to say. Yeah, how is this different than store mounts? Well, it's different than store mounts in one major way, is that I'm not paying $15 a month for Diablo IV. I buy the game once and that's it. So that's a big reason. And also, like, it's a value proposition as well. So, like, for example, in WoW, whenever they introduce a new tier set or a new store set, and it's, like, way more well-designed, and, like, you have the armor sets in the game that look like garbage, well, then you're going to be really frustrated. But, like, if you're getting armor sets in-game that are looking cool, and the ones in a store look cool, too, and it's just depending on which cool that you liked watching or, like, playing with, then I think that's a completely different thing. Like, it's like, if you compare the mounts offerings for like 9.2 minus like a handful of them, like the Jailer's mount, etc., you would probably say that the store mounts are objectively better in terms of design, quality, and uniqueness. I think that they are objectively better, especially in terms of uniqueness, because there are no recolors of them. This is different. This is clearly different, because if you presented a uninitiated person with a picture of these two classes put together, I think that most people would not be able to guess which one was the store and which one was the end game. And the fact that that's the case implies that it is subjective to a degree. And I think that you cannot make that analysis with World of Warcraft. Is left the store? No, right is the store. Left is in game. Which of those would you actually pay for, though? Neither. Why the fuck would I spend money for that bullshit? Like, the thing is, I want to have an armor set. Like, I don't like the idea. Like, I'm not gonna buy these, probably. Like, maybe I'll buy one or two. I'm not gonna say, like, I'll never buy one. Maybe I will. I don't think that I will. And the reason why I don't think that I will buy one is very simple. It's because I like mixing and matching the sets, and you can't do that. You can't have anything unique. You just look the same as everybody else. It's boring. So I would rather have a mixed set of things that I put together myself than just buy a set that's like, oh, it is what it is, right? Like you can mix and match. You read it wrong? Okay, let me go back and read it again. Individual components of which can be mixed and matched with transmogs and armors acquired in game for right. Wait a second. Shop cosmetics are built on a foundation of huge variety of transmogs and weapons from armors confined in game. It's also important to us that the shop is grounded in Diablo's world, so our cosmetics are holistic fantasies, the individual components of which can be mixed and matched with transmogs and never mind. I read it wrong. Yeah, I totally read it wrong. I'm wrong. Yep, I'm objectively wrong. All right, maybe we will have to buy one. Yeah, but only if it matches really well. Okay, reading problem. But yeah, I read it wrong. I thought it said one thing, because, like, what was the game that had it, like, a full set that you could only use that set? I forgot what it was. Yeah, I was wrong. Good news, though? Good news for transmog users. Yes, absolutely. Was it? Oh, Ashes of Creation. Yes, that's what it was. So I was getting it confused in my head. That's why I thought that. That's my bad, though. I read it wrong, and I just assumed the wrong thing. But yeah, there you go. And so, yeah, Ash Creation, you couldn't mix and match. Yeah, and I did say that was good. I would prefer it if you couldn't mix and match in a way, right? I think it makes it better because people feel like less of a need to buy the store items. But obviously, you know, they want to make money, and so that's why they do it. Yeah. This paragraph finds a part. Chat reading wrong. No, there are times that I read shit wrong, absolutely. Like, yeah, everybody does that. I mean, I don't know how many times, like, I messed that up on tests in school. Did it all the time. Anyway, so in general, quarterly update, a W. This has made me more excited for Diablo IV than any previous quarterly update. That's my opinion. This is the best one that I think that they've had.